Hi guys, welcome to ajclubsport. So today I came to this beautiful place, actually hoping to find a private place to do some driving evolutions in the video, but this was not possible. All the same, I want to talk to you about, since this is a big topic now, how to judge and how to buy a Gen.1 GR Yaris. Now that the Gen.2 Yaris is out there, it has become very more interesting for many of you club sporters to buy a Gen.1 Yaris and personalize it and tune the performance for your specific use. Because yes, while the Gen.2 is a more evolved and complete car, actually the Gen.1 is a very competent and good car. And I must say the differences are not that huge, and there is nothing you cannot compensate through aftermarket. So in this sense, what would I have to look for in an existing used Gen.1 GR Yaris in order to understand to buy a good car? So in my advice, you don't basically even have to look under the hood of these cars. The first thing is you have to realize what is the maintenance schedule that is being held on the car. Most of the people that treat these cars very well are keepers. So it's very difficult that these people will be selling their cars. Others that are selling it obviously are mixed people. They have all kind of possibilities. But in the same time, you want to make sure that your car is being serviced very well, and possibly with even better lubricants and more money spent on it than what is, let's say, normal from Toyota, because we all know that they are using these oils from the hybrid normal GR Yaris, and this is not so good. So first thing is maintenance history of the car. For me, then, second thing is for sure about what modifications, if any, have done on the car. So buying a modified, even if lightly modified car, scares off many people. But the point is, this is not an issue. Actually, I see it as a big opportunity, because many times when you do buy a modified car, you basically get a huge value for your money. For example, on this car, if somebody has got a proper exhaust and intake and a map that is done well, you may pay about half the value in new parts of what they have spent in order to, let's say, on an overprice from the rating of the same car. So now that these cars are around 3 years old or something more for certain exemplaries, these cars are looking at 20 to 40,000 kilometers on the odometer, and you can find a car that, say, is worth 33, 35, 36,000, and maybe pay 2,000 more or 3,000 more to get a full exhaust and an intake. So you would be paying about 1,000 to 1,500 only for the intake, about 2,500 for a full exhaust. So actually you're getting a lot of value for your money in this case. It's a very good thing. So I would not be so scared about buying a tuned car. I would be more savvy of what actual tuning they have done and what quality parts they have installed on the car, because this is what actually makes a real difference. I would really look into that. So is this person knowledgeable about the GR? Is this person somebody that has maintained the car very well? And is this person somebody that can actually drive? Because, you know, although many people have told you differently, the point is that these cars work perfectly and they don't break. And most of the cars that have broken, they have broken because actually they have been using very badly the car itself, and downshifting in the wrong way, and using the gearbox in the wrong way with the wrong timing. This is a four-wheel drive, so you need to know how to use the clutch, otherwise you ruin both the clutch and the gearbox in this case. So I would more be like looking for how this person drives, and I would firstly ask the person to take me for a drive in the car, seeing how the person, the old owner, let's say, drives the car, and then I would drive it for myself. So here we come to see mandatory test drive. This is something I just told you before. I will not open the hood of the car. The GR Yaris is not something that you can mechanically spot issues by opening the hood when you buy it. It's more about understanding. In relation to engine and gearbox, the point is not as much as the gearbox, but the point is about how it's being used. Therefore, you have to wait for the car to heat up a little bit, and the car will need, I would say, 2 kilometers to heat up a bit. The gearbox oil heats up and the gearbox itself gets to the right level of heat, and what happens is from that point you can start judging it, because it is normal that at the beginning when it's cold, both first gear and the second gear are a bit difficult to insert, and this is just how it works, not a problem. It's just how these cars are. My car had, and it's an early model, early version, had issues with the gearbox, as you know, at the beginning. I had it rebuilt by Toyota, no problems anymore. It's a perfect gearbox. But when it is cold, first gear and first to second gear shifts, or second to first, are very difficult. So you have to be patient, accompany it. Sometimes you have got to double clutch it, even going up, if it's very, very cold. But in 1 or 2 kilometers, this is gone. So this is the first thing that you should check on the car. Second thing is the clutch. Replacing a clutch is something that is quite expensive on GRs. It's not crazy, but it is quite expensive, and also it represents a wanted improvement. So if somebody is selling you a car with an uprated clutch, with a single mass flywheel, wow, that is a big bonus for you, a big bonus, and you should really consider that car if it's in good condition. And most probably it will be, so you're saving yourself a lot of money. I took off my standard clutch from the car at 12,000 kilometers. And although, yes, I do go fast, I treat the car very well, and thankfully I know how to use it. And what happened is we measured the consumption of the organic material on the stock clutch, and basically it was at 95%. So basically it was as new. So all these myths about clutches just popping and going immediately, it's not so. I even had the DT UK tuning box at the time, and still no problem with the clutch, always if using the car correctly. And let's go to another very expensive item, brake discs. So I just changed my brake discs. So now I got the Scara 73 ones, but what happens is if your brake discs are worn at the moment in Europe, we are looking at something like 2,000 euros or just over 2,000 euros for the stock discs. So plus the brake pads, whatever you decide to put. Stock are very cheap, but maybe not the best performance, although they do work quite well. I used to advise a lot for them, but maybe not anymore. And on the other hand, I would say discs come in 26 millimeter thickness, and the minimum thickness is 24. So if you've got a gauge tool, you can also evaluate that directly, just going through the rims with the gauge tool and see this, because this is something that represents for real a matter of negotiation in the car. Apart from the gearbox, that can have faults because there are synchronizer faults on the gearbox, but if it runs true, it is not a problem. And apart from the brakes, the other thing to look for is how much has the rear differential been serviced. I service the oil in my rear differential very frequently. If I track it, every time I track it, if I go very fast on rally roads, I do this every, let's say, 2,500 kilometers, because it's just needed. Every time I pull out even the best of oils, I see that the oil is really, really worked up too hard and not so good. So this is another thing I would really, really advise you to do. And ultimately, siding blocks and all of that, the car is too new to have problems with the siding blocks. So I'm talking about the bushings that are inside the suspension. And anyways, you will, if you're buying a Gen 1, you will be changing all the arms if they are not changed already. And beware, if you find a car that has got arms that are in steel and that come from brands like Hard Race and so, watch out, because this again shows you that the owner was not spending much money on his car, and these are dangerous and delicate parts that I would really not even touch with the barge pole. I see this snap on the track for real, just going sideways and on an expansion joint of the track on a curve, small curb. I saw them snap very badly, and they snapped because the soldering was not true. It was not. It did not go in depth in the material, and this shows you just what it can be. So for this, I would be, I would watch out very well. Other thing is obvious, clearly the tires, and other of this, there have been not so many other problems. I must tell you, paintwork is not something you need me to tell you about. You just have a look at the car, and the windscreen is very delicate. So my windscreen is about to be changed by Toyota. Never got any specific rocks or anything in it, but still it's got like micro holes made by insects and everything in the many kilometers on the Autobahn, on the motorway. And therefore, this is another expensive change that you need an insurance, or it's going to be a big thing. Plus, you've got to order the original Toyota windshield, because otherwise they'll just put something on that for me is no good. And about the paintwork, just one thing. You can see that the front mirrors on my car are ruined, and both of them are. And point is, I didn't hit anything. I really did not hit anything, and these ruined. These ruined because the paint job from Toyota on these is not true. It's not good. They're too delicate, and they broke only with insects and with washing. So I would be wary about this, because personally, I just filed a complaint and an insurance claim with Toyota, because I'm still under warranty, and I'll see if they will change them for me. But once more, if they are parts that you have to buy, they will, again, like all the original parts from Toyota, be quite expensive. For the rest, another thing is handbrake. So the handbrake shoes, talking of brakes, last a very long time, but still they do go out, and you want to verify if it is the shoes or if it is the adjustment of the lever. Handbrake lever needs to block completely at the 5th click. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the wheels need to be completely blocked. Otherwise, you have to make a manual registration, and you have to do this at Toyota or at your mechanics. And other than that, as soon as you get the car, put the strut braces on front and rear, and you will be very, very happy with your buy. And saying that you get the car for 32 to 36, depending on the kilometers, you have to spend nothing or 20,000 euros worth of mods before spending what you have to spend to get the new car. So that's a lot of potential fun and the mods that you can do on the car. So if you look at my most recent video and all the information in the other ones, you have understood that there are many mods that are not that expensive that make a major difference on how the car performs, and you can do them on your own or with your mechanic and spend about half of that and have it all, and you are gonna make a rocket out of it. Then spend the rest for brakes and tires and time, and just enjoy it as a real club sporter. So this is all and out today, and if you like the video, remember please to like it, to subscribe, and evaluate a membership, because this would support my work very much. Bye bye now. Cheers.